Did you know there are planets out there that are lighter than cotton candy? This is not clickbait. These are real exoplanets, and we astronomers call them super puffs. In our own solar system, we have four inner rocky planets and four outer gas giants. Rocky planets are more dense. They're comprised of metals and rock, where the gas giants, although they are more massive, are mostly gas, so they have lower average densities. Planet with the lowest density in our solar system at about zero point 0.6 grams per cubic centimeter is Saturn. Water has the density of about 1 gram per cubic centimeter, meaning that if you could come up with some massive hypothetical bathtub that didn't collapse under its own gravity, Saturn would actually float in that water. But these superpuffs are on an entirely different level. There's this one star in particular, Kepler 51, that has three superpuff planets, Kepler 51b, C, and D. These planets all have densities around 0.05 grams per cubic centimeter, meaning that they are all about 10% the density of Saturn, which we already said was light enough to theoretically float in water. Now, how do we know this? Well, when we observe distant exoplanets, we typically know basic properties like their size and their mass. Once you know the size of a planet, you can get its volume, and if you know the mass, you can come up with the density. All we really know is the average density of the entire planet. The reason I point that out is because at the core of these planets, there is most certainly an extremely dense and high pressurized core. But at the outer edges, the outskirts of the atmosphere is going to be fluffy and low density. The average density of this whole thing is about that of cotton candy. We know they're real, but how is this possible to have something so large and so low density? The jury is still out on this question. Before these were discovered, most astronomers would have told you that based on how we think planets form, something like this wouldn't really be possible. One potential explanation is that these planets actually formed really far away from their stars, where they had the opportunity to get more hydrogen and helium, and maybe they migrated inwards slowly and were able to retain some of it. Another idea is that these planets are actually losing some of their atmosphere and it's escaping into space. When we see these, perhaps they're just inflated a little bit. They're making us think that they're larger than they actually will be when it's all said and done. These may be ringed planets that are tricking us into thinking they're larger than they actually are. These rings are messing with our size measurements. The truth is, there's no single explanation that can describe all of these systems. It's still an open question. And that's how science is sometimes. The next time you see cotton candy, just remember there are planets in our galaxy that have the same density as that light, fluffy pink stuff.